Welcome to Amateur Kitchen, where I bring you into my kitchen and show you that you don't need to be a professional chef to cook or think like one. And we're making a mini raspberry cheesecake. I love cheesecake, it's one of my favorite, but what gave me the inspiration was a restaurant that I love is P.F. Chang's, which is a China bistro. And how many times do you go to a restaurant and they ask you for dessert and they bring out this wad of something, whatever you order, and really you do, you have to share it with 4 people because it's so big. Well, I like at P.F. Chang's, they actually bring out these little almost like shot glasses of whatever you would like. It may be cheesecake or carrot cake or regular chocolate cake. So that's kind of what gave me the inspiration to make this recipe in general. And I think you're going to like it too if you do throw a lot of parties. Your guests can just kind of grab it and eat it, and it just feels that enough of a sweetness urge that most of us need right after we're done eating. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, my number 1 tip for the day, I have 2, but my first one is start with room temperature ingredients. I'm going to use a sour cream along with the cream cheese and some eggs. These all need to be room temperature. This is going to allow for the filling to really be nice and creamy that you're used to when you're eating cheesecake. So, and I did opt for the less fat. If you're making a traditional cheesecake, don't do that. Stick with the regular, and with the sour cream, just stick with the regular. But for this, I'm opting for the less. So that's a word of advice. And we're going to stick in 2 8-ounce things of cream cheese into our blender, and we're going to blend that really well. Once it's nice and smooth, we're going to add in 3 room temperature eggs, one at a time until that combines, and then we'll go from the sour cream and on. So let's go ahead and get started with that. It was to cream cheese along with some eggs. Now let's go ahead and add a cup of sugar into the mixture. We're going to cream that for about 1 to 2 minutes until it's nice and smooth, and then we're going to add 16 ounces of sour cream along with the zest of 1 lemon and 1.5 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. So let's go ahead and get started. Cheesecake filling that we just did, and I'm going to put it into a spring-form pan. This is actually a great pan to buy. You can just spring it open, especially if you're serving a traditional cheesecake. And here's my number 2 tip for you guys. I have actually wrapped it in aluminum foil because I am going to stick it in like a roasting pan and put some water around it, which is called a water bath. This is going to help just keep it real moist. Along with, if you are doing a traditional cheesecake, it'll help it from cracking on the top because obviously presentation is everything, right? Then of course taste. But I'm just leaving it just like this, and I'm going to actually spray some nonstick spray in here. And so let's go ahead and do that and put our cheesecake filling in. And it's nice and creamy. That's why we do it in the steps that we do it in, and we have everything at room temperature so it all blends well. Make sure to get every last bit of it out. Yum, perfect. So it looks delish. Oops. And from here, we're going to stick it into our roasting pan that I was telling you about. Something you'd roast like a turkey in or something like that. Now I have some steaming hot water right next to me, and I'm just going to ladle in until it fills maybe halfway up or an inch up the pan. So just do it slowly so you don't get any water into your cheesecake mixture. And we'll just continue to do this, and we're going to head to the oven that I've actually preset at 350 degrees, and we're going to bake this cheesecake filling for about an hour or so until the middle is almost set. And then we're going to take it out and allow it to sit on the stove top for another, I don't know, I'd say 20 or 30 minutes or so. And then from there we'll be ready to pipe it into our little shot glasses. So it's looking pretty good. So let's carefully take it over to the stove. So while our cheesecake filling is cooking in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start on a raspberry sauce that we're going to top our cheesecake little shots with. I'm going to use 1 pint of fresh raspberries. If you can't find fresh, that's okay, use frozen, but preferably fresh. 3 tablespoons of sugar, and the zest of 1 lemon along with the juice of 1 lemon as well. So let's go over to the stovetop and start making our sauce. We're definitely multitasking today. I have my cheesecake filling in the oven along with our raspberry syrup that's kind of condensing down on the stove top that I'm going to put in the fridge once it's done with that. And now I'm going to make the base of what's going to be in my shot glass, which is what's most commonly known in cheesecake is graham cracker crust. Now I did get the cinnamon grahams and low fat, so saving a little bit there, I guess. And so let's go ahead and get started. First I'm going to put about 2 cups of graham crackers into the food processor. Once that's all blended, I'm going to add 1 stick of butter and about a half of a teaspoon of cinnamon and just a dash of nutmeg, you know, maybe like an 1/8 of a teaspoon or something like that, real small. So almost just a pinch, but it's just enough. So let's go ahead and get started with all that. Our cheesecake came out of the oven and I allowed for it to rest on the stove top for about another 30 minutes or so. And from there I put it into a resealable bag where I'm going to cut the end off and pipe it. Now if you have like a pastry bag or something, you can use that as well. I did the same with my raspberry syrup and I actually cooled it in the fridge for a while and put it in a resealable bag, and we're going to cut the end of it off so we can kind of pipe it in there as well. And our graham cracker crust is waiting for us. So why don't I do this? I'm going to put one of these together so you can see how they're put together, and then I'm going to rock out the rest after that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a teaspoon or so into the bottom. By the way, how cute are these? And you know, maybe that far, 1/3 of the way, a little bit less. And then, let me move this. I'll do it like this. Then we're going to take our filling, which I haven't cut the end of it off yet, so let's do that. And just a little snip. And then I'm just going to fill until almost to the top. It's nice and creamy, yummy. Okay, to about there. Now just bring it down so we don't lose any of that yumminess. And then here is our raspberry sauce. So good. Like I said, you can alter the sweetness too, which is nice about making your own syrup. And then, without making a big mess, just top it with the syrup. And that's it. This is your mini raspberry cheesecake. So I'm going to go ahead and rock out the rest of these, and we'll be right back to try it. Assembling our mini raspberry cheesecakes. Aren't they the cutest things ever? I cannot wait to try it. Thanks to P.F. Chang's for the inspiration on this one. And I'm just gonna go in and try it. I think that I don't need to explain anything else. Man, dig that spoon all the way down in there. And get the graham cracker crust with it too. Yum, it tastes just like an actual cheesecake, but guess what? I don't have to eat a whole bunch of it, just a nice little bite. Although, I might eat 2 of these, but don't tell anybody, okay? So, this is what I'm having for dessert. I hope you are too, and join me again next time on the Amateur